Hello everyone and welcome back. We're into episode 27 of the What a Load of Bulls podcast. Here DJ and my good friend Simon co-hosting, bringing you our weekly podcast on everything lawn bowls, from hot topics around the greens to guest interviews and the latest results from events and tournaments.
Thanks DJ, and welcome back listeners for another week. This week we are bringing you some player interview that DJ managed to rustle up for us.
That's it, mate. As we've said in a couple of episodes, the Bulls world's been a little bit quiet recently. We needed to get some content. The hot topic last week certainly stirred a few up. This week we thought we'd bring in, we've already had the two interviews, thought we'd get a third one, mate. So I headed on down to the Bulls Academy farm.
Yeah.
Had a look around, mate. And as everyone knows, we've been rustling up a few goats recently. And managed to grab one of our goats and bring him in for an interview. A little bit of a different accent this one to what the Australians will be used to, so no Aussie accents on this podcast this week. But yeah, I managed to get Ryan Bester, mate, and find out a bit about Ryan's career and how it started for him in Canada, where he is now in Australia. Obviously world singles champion there last year on Broadbeach, mate, so that was a good one to sit down with. But just before we dive into that, mate, how was your weekend?
Pretty quiet, DJ. I didn't have any work commitments this weekend, and Ness and Ellie were away, so I had a free weekend, and Saturday was a day packed full of sport, wasn't it, really? There was quite a few big competitions happening on Saturday, so I thought I'd have a quiet afternoon on the sofa and watch some big sporting events going on, DJ, with the AFL Grand Final.
Yep.
Semis of the NRL as well.
Yep.
And the Wallabies were playing the All Blacks too, DJ.
Yeah.
And then a bit of English Premier League that night too, so it was action-packed, but results didn't go the way I wanted them to, DJ.
How did you get any up?
Not really.
No, we didn't do well at all. Yeah. Well, I didn't start off too well on the Friday, mate. The Roosters obviously went down to the Melbourne Storm, pretty handy. And then your Sharkies had the same fate the next night against the Penrith Panthers, mate. So it's a Broncos. They're useless. They are. They're getting a new coach. It's a Storm versus Panthers grand final next weekend, mate, and probably the best two teams in the conference I've watched this year. I don't think anyone can argue with that. They seem to have teams can go with them for a while, but they've just got this other level that they can hit both those sides, and it should be, if both teams are on their game next Saturday, it should be an absolute epic cracker. So I'm looking forward to watching that one.
Yeah.
Well, I started off the weekend. Well, obviously that Friday night wasn't a good start, but then we had the major singles semi-finals and finals at Club Milton City. Just to be biased about talking about the club. The only bad thing about that was I didn't make it through, but we're not shocked either. But yeah, last few years we've done men and women side by side, mate, which brings a good camaraderie with the club anyway. But Jessica Fisher took out the women's for the fourth time in 5 years.
Oh, very good.
And Simon Mitchell went back to back in the major singles as well, mate. So
well done, Simon.
A couple of good games there.
Yep.
And then I thought to myself, mate, look, I have not watched a full game of AFL. I always try to.
Yeah.
I've never watched a full one, but the last two that I've actually said to myself, I'm going to sit down and watch, was this one and 2 years ago. And maybe I shouldn't do that. It's not going very well for the Swans.
DJ. You're the scud
2 years that I've sat down and actually sat in front of the TV and going, because I remember ringing you and going, mate, what is this? Like, what is it about the grand final that they just can't handle? But yeah, and big shout out. 27 episodes in. This little fella I'm about to mention has been trying to get his name mentioned on the podcast for a long time. Mr. Isaac Rayner. He is diehard Sydney Swans. He was down there, mate, for those two grand finals that we've just mentioned.
Did you do a welfare check on the Sunday morning?
Mate, we did a welfare check on Saturday night. We got a group chat with a couple of the lads from the club. It was going off. He would have had 100 messages, I reckon, coming out of the MCG, and probably 95 of those were from me, to be fair, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
But no, he did. He rang me about 20 past 10 that night. I just goes, welfare check. I'm okay. I'm not happy. And I left with 10 minutes to go. So he did, which I think he lasted longer than his previous grand final where he left after the first quarter.
Yeah, I think I'd have been leaving at half time, DJ.
It shows you the dedication of some fans, and the Swans didn't really justify themselves at all, did they? But yeah, one of those things. And then we'll not talk about the English Premier League, man. I'm trying to not to at the minute because that's just depressing. But our local footy team up here, our local rugby league team, the mighty Maitland Pickers, certainly picked it up for me on Sunday. So love going. Never ever thought again the local league, mate. But we got on board with the Pickers there about 7 years ago as a major sponsor.
Yeah,
and made it. I love it. Like you've got a U-Butte facility up here in Maitland now, and with the showground or the sports ground. It's a fantastic facility. The team plays out of there. They're just built over the last years. managed to get 3 teams in the grand final. Reserve grade, who went down last year, got up this year in a last kick of the game in extra time epic.
Okay, nice.
So they've played their full quota. It was all square with Lakes. Lakes then scored. They played two halves of 5 minutes. Lakes scored in the first half. We then scored in the second half, but we missed the kick. They got the kick, so we're 2 behind. With 40 seconds to go, the kickoff comes. The boys go down the field, kick from the left to the right. Lakes guy goes up, he misses it. Our winger goes down in the corner with it. Absolute, mate. This is why their voice is a little bit husky just from that game. And then for the first time up in this area, we had a women's first grade competition happening.
Mm-hmm.
Again, us against Lakes, and the girls managed to get up.
Mm-hmm.
It was might have been the first win they had over Lakes. Lakes were minor premiers. And then the first grade stepped out onto the field going for 3 in a row, and they managed to take that out. So 3 on the day, 3 in a row for the Mighty Maitland Pickers. The club was bouncing.
Sure it was, DJ.
I probably left at the right time when I needed to come and speak to you in one of our other interviews, so I think I got away with it there. Luckily for me, there was no alcohol involved, because you know what I'm like, but there was a few Coca-Colas taken that day, and I was pretty buzzing.
Must be something in the water up there, DJ. Some winning culture happening around there. So, yeah, well done
it's going
Milan
well.
Pickers.
Like I said, you never think you get into this type of stuff, but 7 years ago, we went knocking on their door. They were struggling a bit financially. The club they were with at the time was definitely, it's not there anymore. So it is the Leagues Club, and we thought, this is something we can't let go by the wayside. I made a quick phone call one day to the boss, saying I've seen this. He goes, phone who you need a phone. I've made a quick phone call there. I had a meeting that week. Next thing, we got a 10-year agreement, and they're safe, and they're winning. So, yeah, pretty good, mate. Love it. Absolutely love it. Just balls gets in the way sometimes. So it does. But, yeah. Right on, mate. Just before we get into that Bester interview, we have talked about the double fours recently. I think it's probably right we just give an update on what's happened there. Did you see any of the live stream?
I didn't, DJ. Not the live stream towards the end of it, no.
No, I haven't, but enough people have told me ball for ball what went on.
Yeah.
So the Schreiner team was up against the Twist team. Schreiner's going for 3 in a row.
Yeah.
All square last in. Mad up, Jack on the tee. Leads and second both missed from what I can gather.
They all tried to pot it.
Yeah, all tried to pot it, all missed from what I can gather. And then it comes down to whatever's happened, it's come down to Twisty. Twisty's binned it. Sat maybe 18 inches, 2 feet from it, something like that.
Yeah.
Schreiner then goes up with his first one, draws to the lip.
Okay.
So he's got shot. Twisty then goes up, takes that out. Twisty's got shot again. Leroy wants to do the same again to make it 3 in a row. Pulled up short. So did. But yeah, so that was Benny Twist's team that took that one out. So well done to them guys. I think it was Nathan Black, Joey Clark, Ben Twist. Sorry for that glitch, folks, but there was another young fella there called Jack McShane, who you may have heard of before, was also in that team. So sorry, Jack, for forgetting about you, but that was the team that took out double fours for their first time, third time in the competition. As we've said before, we're going to have a quick chat with Neil Dalrymple at some point, who was actually there, Simon. So hopefully he can give us a bit of rundown on a bit more of the tournament and what actually went on there. So, yeah, that's the double fours. Well, Simon, like we mentioned, 27 episodes in it. We didn't think we'd quite get here. Subscribers are going up every week. Listeners are going up every week. I think it's about time we could offer out some sponsorship to some of those businesses around the place that do listen to us. If you're interested in sponsoring an episode of the podcast, having myself or Simon read out a little blurb about your business, get you some promotion from our Bowls community, get in touch with Simon at thebowlsacademy.com. He'll flick you some information about what we can offer, what we can do. And yeah, we'd love to start promoting a few people out there within our podcast.
All right, DJ. Recently you sat down with Ryan Bester.
Mm-hmm.
How did that interview go, DJ?
Well, other than the internet connection, which sort of hampered us a little bit, the two of us a little bit, but it was good, mate. I was looking forward to that one, especially after the GOAT episode where we talked about the rest of the world and realised just how good Ryan was, what his record was like playing these things. So it was good to hear like where he came from, how it started for him, how he got into it, where he is now, and just hear. You speak to Ryan around the greens, but you actually sit down there one-on-one with him and find out a bit more information about him. It was really, really good, man. He was really receptive with it too, so it's always good to sit down with these guys. So yeah, it should be a good one. Hopefully it's a good one. Everyone enjoys it.
Okay, so we've got DJ, our Northern Irishman, Canadian, talking about bowls in Australia. Let's hear.
Welcome, folks. We got DJ here from the What a Load of Bulls podcast. We've got another player interview here for you, finding out what it's like being an elite player, playing in world championships and stuff. This player here has got 2 world golds, 2 silvers, 3 bronzes, world champion singles in 2012, 2 silvers and a bronze from the Commonwealth Games, 2 gold, 2 silver, 4 bronze from Asia Pacifics, Atlantic Bulls Championship gold, Aussie Open singles champion in 2018, and currently the Bulls coordinator at Musgrave Hill Bowling Club on the Gold Coast. Welcome, Ryan Bester. How are you, Ryan?
Yep, good, DJ. Thanks for having me on the show.
No, thanks for coming on, man. Thanks for getting up with your time. Obviously, it's a busy schedule for you, flying back and forward around the place, playing all the events you possibly can. So it's good that you give up a bit of time to have a chat with us and help us make some content.
No worries, buddy.
Righto. So, Ryan, just where did it all start from you? Like, Canada's not really one of the powerhouse nations, I suppose, in bowls back in the day. How did you get into the game back home in Canada?
Yeah, well, like most players, through family. So my mom's dad and brother played. So my uncle and grandfather, and then my 2 older brothers started when they were 14 and 15, and I was 10. So me and my dad started the same year, and that's how we got into it. And then always just played with my brothers and my dad in fours, and me and my dad played pairs.
Yeah, nice. So what was your first taste of success? What was the first championship you can remember winning at a young age or whatever that really got you going?
Yeah, well, first year when I was 10, me and my brothers won like the state junior triples. And it was kind of our first tournament, and no one expected us to win. So that was good. And first kind of major one, when I was 15, we won like the state fours. Which was huge at that time, winning that.
Nice, at a young age too. First representative selection, mate. How was that? Was it like a state selection? How does it work in Canada?
Now, so Canada, your first selection is to be on the national team. Funny enough, so you don't represent.
Oh, really? State. So there's nothing really in between that. It's just you're good enough.
Yeah. So
right. So what was your first selection?
Yeah, they had a weird thing. You had to win like a couple tournaments or earn points to get on the national team. And then we flew to Arizona. We always had the national camp in Arizona in the States in Canada's wintertime. So no one's picked up the bowl for 4 or 5 months. And you go down there, and they had a singles tournament for the 2002 Commonwealth Games. So whoever won the singles tournament was for sure a spot to go to the Commonwealth Games. So we only had singles or fours because we didn't have enough funding to do singles, pairs, and fours. So I won the singles, and they go, "Do you want to skip the fours or play singles?" And I said, "I'll play the singles." So that's how I played my first major event for Canada.
Right, just for all our listeners, I mean, you sort of touched on it there. So you would have some sort of a national camp where you flew to Arizona, as you said, in the winter. But what's the setup like in Canada at the elite level? Like, is there regular camps like that? Is it so how does it work in Canada compared to Australia?
Yeah, well, I've been part of the team now for 22 years, and we've gone through a lot of different changes for the national team, how you get picked. But right now, we've kind of molded on, the big countries, like the UK countries, Australia, New Zealand. So we have a squad of 12 players over 3 years. So we go and have a camp, and then at those camps, they pick the teams to go to the major events. So we have a psychologist and nutritionist now. So we do Zoom meetings once a month. So we're kind of molding, and results are kind of showing. Obviously, the last World Championships, I think we came 4th overall in the men's and the ladies, which is huge for Canada. Yeah, and coaching wise, obviously we had Terry Scott, New Zealand. He coached Canada. It was good to have someone from a big country that's seen bowls all around. That he brought a lot of great ideas to the program.
Didn't know that. That's good to know that. In terms of just playing back at home, so obviously we've got Premier Leagues here, we got pennants here, state championships. Like, what's the setup like in Canada? Like, what do you just play club games, and then from there, hopefully you go on to win national titles and stuff, or how does it work?
No, so there's no club games, there's no pennant games. You don't play against any other clubs. You just go to just little tournaments. $10 entry fee, and if you win, you win $20. Yeah, they used to have 1 week-long tournament, which was good, where first prize was maybe $300. So my province had the most bowlers, so you had to win your district, and then the provincials, and then you go to the national championships. But when I was there, if you won the fours, you couldn't go in the pairs or singles. And if you won the pairs, you couldn't go in the singles. So the last time I left there when I was 21, and last time I could play the singles I was 14 because I won the pairs of fours every other year. So it was a bit different. You couldn't win the Canadian singles because you previously won the fours or pairs, which was played before the singles. So yeah, different setup.
That's an interesting setup, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez Louise.
Yeah, and I try to tell stories. People don't really believe it.
Yeah, right on. Right on, mate. So first big event, World Championships in 2004. What was it like? We're rocking up at the World Championships in Ayr in Scotland as a 19-year-old.
It was unbelievable. I used to just watch videotapes, no YouTube or anything. I'd get videotapes of the old World Championships. So, really look forward to playing the guys. Canada, they already had the singles and fours picked. I was skipping the fours. And I saw that Scotland was in Canada's pairs group. And I said, I want to play the pairs because I want to play against Alex Marshall. So that's kind of how I got in the pairs event. It was unbelievable. Yeah, Alex in the round robin, they got us by 1 on an umpire's measure. And then to get through to the final and obviously play Jim Baker and Noel Graham, it was just unbelievable. And it probably, to win that early, and then obviously had a lot of defeats after that, where I probably didn't appreciate what it was to win a world title back then. And then obviously a few defeats and winning again, you can really appreciate how hard it is and how big it is.
Yeah, definitely. I suppose pretty naive back then, only being 19, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It just all worked out because the greens in Ayr, Scotland, were exactly the same as in Canada. And I think before I left, I won 38 straight games or something in Canada. So I was on a bit of a roll at that time.
Yeah, so you had a bit of form going into them, and obviously helps. So it does. So yeah, I was just about to say that. So you defeated the two Northern Irish boys in the final. I remember you picking up a 7 later on to get that win.
Yeah, we're down 9-3. And yeah, we got a 7. Jack ended up about a foot off the tee, and Jim Baker, the Irish skip, all 3 of his balls just flopped into the ditch. When you look back on it, you're thinking there's God or something on my side that, he played 3 good balls and just got unlucky on all 3. And yeah, we got a 7 to go 10-9 up. And yeah, then at the end we were 2 up playing the last and got a 2 and screamed like a little girl when Jim missed his last ball, chucked the hat in the air, and yeah, it's just a great feling.
Oh, world champion, mate, we'll let you away with that one. Everyone gets excited, I'm sure. So it would.
Yeah.
Right. So moving on, then, mate. You've had that early success. Then the next thing, I suppose, is Commonwealth Games in Melbourne in 2006, mate. So what was that 2 years like in between the Worlds and then getting for Commonwealth Games? Can you look back there and think what was your mindset? What did you want to achieve from that? Obviously, getting picked to start with, but what was the main aim going to the 2006 Games? Yeah,
well, everything kind of fell into place. So at World Bowls 2004, Gary Lawson said I should come down and play in Australia. And I always wanted to come down and play. So we had the Asia Pacifics in November, and then the Commonwealth Games were in March, so 5 months apart. So came down, won the Asia Pacific singles, and then played Premier League in Sydney at the Hills Club. And then Commonwealth Games, the greens weren't like regular Australian greens. They were a bit slower. And it really helped me play there, playing in Australia and getting all that experience. And I played Robert Wheel in the semi-final. And we tied the first set. In the second set, I was 4 up with 2 ends to go and dropped a 2 and a 3. So that wasn't too ideal. And then you have to back up 40 minutes later and play the bronze medal game. And lucky enough, I won that against Stephen Farish. So to get a Commonwealth Games medal, I was only 21 at the time. It was huge, and just being on the podium with guys like Kelvin and Robert Wheel, who are class acts. It was it was great. And then I decided, this is my place in Australia, and stayed on. Yeah, right. So you pretty much just stayed on after the Melbourne 06. Yeah, I went back to Canada for 5 months and then came back permanently about 5 months later. Yeah, right. Oh, cool. You talk about beating Farish there in the qualify or in the bronze medal game, wasn't it? Yeah,
but he got you in the sectional play, isn't that right? Yeah. It was me, Farish, and Russell Meyer from New Zealand. We were in the same section, so I lost to Farish, but beat Russell, which knocked him out on the singles. Right. And then, absolutely. I mean, well, Commonwealth Games, most of them are, mate. But what was? Jeepers, I didn't realize. I knew you'd lost by a shot to Wheel, Because when we were doing the greatest of all time debate, I was looking into it a bit, but mate, didn't realize you were 4 up with 2 to play. Like, how did you then get yourself up for the bronze medal match after that? Guy? That's some going. Like, obviously, it would have been a bit of a downer thinking so close to the gold medal match. But how did you react to that? How did you get yourself back up for that?
I was young, so I think in the bronze, I did lose the first set, and then it kind of clicked. You're playing for a Commonwealth Games medal. Get your butt in gear, and then won the second set and won the tiebreaker 2-0. But yeah, obviously it was hard, and you go to the venue. If you win the first game, you're playing for gold medal in Australia, probably against Kirkow, and then you lose, and you have to try to fight your way to get that bronze. So I was lucky. I was probably a bit immature the first set, and then fired up and managed to get the bronze medal.
When I was looking back at the stats and stuff, from what I can see, so. You have medalled every World Championships you've been to?
Yeah.
Does that sound about right? Is there any worlds you've been to you haven't come away with something? You've medalled at every single one you've been to, and you've been medalled at every men's World Singles since 2008.
Yeah. So I played the singles 4 times. We got bronze, 2 silvers, and a gold.
Yeah. And the gold, you got the full set. So talk us through some of those early ones, mate. So it was the bronze and then back-to-back silvers. So, and then bronze and 2 silvers in the Commonwealth Games. So what was it like, those early ones, like I said, just coming short of that gold medal each time?
Yeah, in 2000, I'll start with the Worlds. 2008, played Safo and Saeed in the semi-final, and it was lost 21-20. And Aaron Sheriff beat Almy
I remember seeing that one as well.
I remember, whatever it was, and I could draw or drive with my last, and just missed it. And then in 2012, played Leif Selby in the final, and we both went 11-0 in the round robin. And then I beat Jerry Baker in the semi. One thing that hurt there, I played the semi-final Friday afternoon, and Leif played his semi-final Sunday morning, and we played the final Sunday afternoon. So he played on the rink that morning, and I played 2 days earlier, and I got off to a bad start. I was 17-6 down. I fought back to 19-all. I played a good first one, then I played 3 bad ones, and he ripped me out for 2. And then 2016, same, won the group. And then I was down 19-9 to Darren Burnett in the semifinal. They got 21-20. Then played Shannon McElroy in the final, and lost 21-17. I was pretty gutted after that. Coming so close, losing 2 in a row. And then the next World's obviously supposed to be, I was at Broadbeach Bowls Club then, supposed to be home club. Then COVID hit. So then you had to wait 3 more years, so 2023, so 7 years in between drinks. And then, the draw came out, and I had a really hard draw. I had Sam Tolchard from England, Pierre from South Africa, and Kenta for Japan, who obviously great player, plays at St. John's Park. So managed to get through and then beat Scotland in the semi-final. So then, going to the final, you have the whole day. And then I was thinking, if you lose 3 in a row, and obviously, but the morning of the final, just had a good walk on the beach and made sure all my parents were set up in the stand. And green 4 at Broadbeach is probably the best green in the world. And I've a lot of success on that. And, playing Gary, he was a great mate. And I was down 16-13, playing good. And then this last 5 ends, I think, something was on my shoulder, and just went 3 twos and 2 singles to go out. And, ever since I was young, all I wanted to do is win the world singles. So it was the last thing to kind of tick off the ball. So it was just massive, a bit of a relief, to finally get it done. And, just a special moment. It was great to have my parents there, and also my partner, Rachel, and 2 kids, Monica and Harry, that were there cheering me on the whole time.
Yeah, I mean, it was, you could definitely see the emotion in you after the game. I remember sitting watching the game, obviously, with being close to Gary and watching the final. Interesting to hear you say about how, 3 defeats in a row sort of creeped into your mind before the game, but how you got around that. I mean, a lot of people, probably look at you guys sometimes and think these guys are robots, they don't feel pressure, but it just shows you that it does creep into your mind. And it was a fair script that you wrote for yourself, mate. At Broadbeach on green 4, like you said, come from behind, win. Yeah, it was a fantastic achievement. I mean, obviously, bit of a monkey off the back, would you say, mate, or was it just a bit of relief to finally
probably.
get there?
You get a lot of people yeah, they kind of joke around because had a couple of silvers, but I always say, well, you have to be in the final to get silver to lose finals, where a lot of people
Well, that's the big
haven't
thing.
been in that position. I know on your previous podcast, if I win a couple more of those, then could win. So I think David Bryant, he's the only player to win the World Singles and the Commonwealth Games Singles. So if I happen to have won the Commonwealth Games, to be one of the only two players to win both of the major ones would be, unbelievable.
Yeah. Well,
I guess going to the Commonwealth Games, I played Darren Burnett in 2014 in Scotland. And obviously the crowd, I know you touched base.
Yep.
The 4 times I've lost was all to the player at the home country as well. So I played Darren Burnett.
That's what we pointed out on the podcast, actually, when I dived into it.
Yeah, you always had 2,500 people cheering against you. And obviously Disco in 2008.
Yeah.
But I think, Canada, to get 3 Commonwealth Games medals for Canada is huge, and it does get a bit of a spotlight in Canada a bit more, the Commonwealth Games. So just special events, and hopefully, Glasgow was just named. Hopefully bowls can stay and get in one of the 10 sports to be played in Glasgow.
Yeah, well, that's one thing that we've sort of looked at as well, mate, and that big push as well to try and get it in the Olympics. Just quickly, what do you reckon? What's our chances of getting in the Olympics, do you think?
No, probably not the greatest, just because of the UK countries. And, Commonwealth Games of Scotland, Wales, and that where Olympics they all become one. The United Kingdom, so you lose about 6 or 7 countries right there. But obviously, Australia would have the best chance. Brisbane 2032 because they know Australia will win a few medals probably because they're quite good at bowls. But Neil Dalrymple and World Bowls are working on it, so never say never. Yeah. Might be a different game, might be sets played, make it a bit more interesting.
It's an uphill battle, isn't it?
Yeah, but as long as people keep trying, you never know what happens.
It's definitely. No, that's it. I mean, you got to keep knocking on the door. Eventually, somebody might open it up for you. Yeah, I suppose. Exactly. So, mate, looking back, like you've medals upon medals, right? Everything you've gone to, you're pretty much medaled at. Is there one? And I'm probably asking an obvious one here. And it's like asking your favorite child. Is there one that really stands out as the one that? That's the one that's going to live long in the memory. Like the first one in Ayr, was it the last one there on the Gold Coast? What's the main one?
Probably the last one on the Gold Coast. Obviously, the singles is big, and obviously, the defeats before that just makes it extra special. So yeah, obviously that one.
Yeah,
best one.
Yeah, so those speaking on those defeats, mate, they just make you hungrier every time. Like once you sort of go over the initial disappointment, was it just like right, reset, go again? I'm going to get this. Yeah,
exactly. Game of bowls, anything can happen. So, and a lot of them were a bowl here, a bowl there, and lucky against Gary, I probably got not lucky, but the response really helped me because I don't think I really missed a drive, which hurt him. And sometimes you need that little bit of luck in finals. You obviously have to play good and need that little bit of luck of just things going your way.
Absolutely, but if you're in the area more often than not, they go for you, mate. Right off the green then. So I've spoke to Gary mostly about this here, but being at a Commonwealth Games, mate, what's that like? You've been to a few, like multi-event. It's the pinnacle of our sport. What do you say that's like being at a Commonwealth Games?
Yeah, Commonwealth Games is unbelievable. Just walking into the stadium for the opening ceremony and just being in the village, walking around and seeing all the athletes from all the different countries. And I still have in my head, there's one in Delhi in 2010. They had a Bob Marley kind of band on in the village and all the Jamaicans were just having the best time. And you remember meeting the people. So obviously playing bowls is good, but later on in life, you remember the people that you meet, and the stories of the trips away and all that. That's what makes bowls such a great game. It's just a social game and catching up with the guys from all over the world that you only get to see once every couple of years. Sitting down, having a chat and catching up with them. That's what makes our game so special. And when older in life, those are the experiences I like, is the friendships and the experiences of getting to travel around the world, playing the game that we love.
100%. Is there any of those Commonwealth Games stand out as probably your favourite one you've been at, and one that just sort of steps above the others for the experience off the green more than anything?
I really like Glasgow. I love Scotland, so I got to go out and tour a little bit in Glasgow. So yeah, that'd probably be my favorite one. Yeah,
Glasgow, very good, very good. Okay, mate. So we touched on your first experience in Australia. Was that Premier League? I take it just before 2006. Was that right? Premier League in New South Wales.
Yeah,
for the Hills, right? Oh, so when did the When did the call come to come out here on a permanent basis? Which was the first club to do that for you?
Yeah, well, Gary Lawson, he was flying over from New Zealand to play for the Hills, and they lost a couple of finals.
Yep.
He said, you have to come down. So Cameron Curtis was at the Hills at the time.
Yep.
So me and my mate who played the Commonwealth Games, we came out for 4 months. So that probably helped me having someone from Canada with me that I knew, coming down to something different. And I absolutely love the Premier League. So Alex Marshall and Paul Foster, they were down playing for Barong, and Neil Burkett and all that were playing for Cabramatta. So I think I won my first 7 rinks, and then the greens got too quick for me, and I couldn't draw, so I just smacked the whole time. We ended up winning the Premier League. We beat Harbord in the final, and it was just unbelievable. I was only 21 at the time to come down, and I never played pennant before, because I touched before in Canada. We never did anything like that, so I thought it was a great thing. On Thursday night, I couldn't wait for Saturday to come to go and play bowls.
Yeah, that's
in that league.
That's one thing that stood out there from the first part of the interview, to find that you've never actually had like a team event like that. Like, you've just come out to Australia, you've just been playing singles, pairs, triples, fours, championships, and you come out here and there's this 12-man team event. Like, that must have been surreal.
I never knew anything about it or anything, and I absolutely love it. That's my favorite things, is playing Premier League and pennant here, playing as a team of 12. I think it's the best thing ever, really.
Yeah, mate. Well, you had a bit of success with Cabramatta as well. How did that come about? You were employed there for Cabramatta for a while?
No. So after the Hills, we won at the Hills in 2006, and then they pulled out of the Premier League.
Yep.
So then Gary Lawson said, I'll sort you out. So I went to Cabramatta. Yeah, it was great there. So they owned a couple of houses, so it was good to, they looked after me that way. And Peter Bellis, Rowan Brassey, Russell Meyer, I got to learn from the best. So every Friday afternoon, I'd play Russell Meyer in singles and never beat him. But playing with those guys, and a guy like Peter Bellis, who's one of the best ever, really helped me. So I was there for 5 years. It was good. We won a couple Premier Leagues and the Division 1 title. And then I always loved the Gold Coast, and job opportunity came up at Broad Beach Bowls Club. So, I moved up here, and then I was there for 12 years, and I love it up here on the Gold Coast. And the clubs here, Tweed Heads, Helensvale, Burleigh, Broad Beach, Musgrave, it's such a great competition. And we play pennant in July and August, and Premier League February and March. So it's a great competition. I'm loving it up here.
Yeah. So obviously that, like you said there, you've moved up to Broad Beach, 12 years, moved to Musgrave. Mate, you've had Australian Opens there at Broad Beach. You've had World Championships, Commonwealth Games. Mate, obviously a bit of a tough decision to go to Musgrave, like a big change as well after 12 years. Yeah,
no, we bought a house only about 10 minutes from Musgrave. Just the club spirit. Sometimes you need a bit of change in life. So I love my time at Broad Beach, all the members and all that. And then a new challenge came over at Musgrave Hill, and loving it here. We won the pennant the first year here, so we're in the state finals starting November. We've got Sean Baker, he's the club coach here. Guy who the secretary manager is Wayne Hatchman, and he just loves bowls, and sets up the model kind of St. John's Park, Deer Park, of what bowls club have a coach, and the members are really loving it, buying into it, and we had a good pennant season, and just looking for the next few years here at Musgrave, and try to win as much as we can here.
Yeah, nice. Mate, have you found much difference between the setup in New South Wales and the setup in Queensland? Would you say one's better than the other, or is it just, much of a muchness type of thing?
Just if I like in New South Wales how Division 1 to 7 go to a state pennant playoff, where in Queensland it's only Division 1. So it gives everyone something to look forward to. And obviously up here, you have the state championships. It's just like a big, long carnival. It goes for 15, 16 days, where in New South Wales, you have to win, your zone to go on. So a lot of people can't go win the state championships up here because 2 weeks off work and then back up 2 weeks later is Australian Open. So there's good and bad things for both states, but the new Division 1 pennant and Platinum pennant in New South Wales is awesome. And we have our Premier League up here. So it's good that the best players can come and play in both events. Yeah,
nice. No, it's good to hear that side of things, mate. I suppose getting towards the end of it, mate, like I'm assuming there's no real aspirations to run back and live in Canada anytime soon. You're pretty happy on the Gold Coast?
Yeah, pretty happy on the Gold Coast. The weather's pretty good. And I've been here now, 18, going on 17, 18 years, so almost half my life. So I got my lovely partner, Rachel, and another baby on the way. So, this is home here. I love the bowls. Like, obviously, as you know, Australia is the best place in the world if you love bowls and something on all the time. So, probably.
It's phenomenal, mate. I think it's the same. I think it's the same for a lot of us. Obviously, I'm not quite at the level that you're at, but it's the same thing. We played it back home in Ireland. We wanted to come out and try it, and it's hard to leave once you get here, mate. It's the best place in the world for it. So
obviously, all the people are so good, well friends, so it's awesome.
Yeah, exactly, mate. The future for Ryan Besser, mate. What is the aspirations now? Like, still to play for Canada at Worlds and Commonwealth Games when it comes up? Have you got a time frame of this might do me, or are you just going to go until you just feel like that's enough?
Yeah, probably go until I, lose a desire to go on. Like, every time I play for Canada, you still get those little goosebumps on the hairs in the back of the neck, just because it's always such a big deal. So probably, Canada just went to Scotland and played the test season. Probably can't do that with a family and that, but Worlds and Commonwealth. As long as I still have that hunger and everything goes well, hopefully play in those if I keep getting selected. And then here in Australia, I love playing like the pennant and Premier League stuff. So haven't really played too many tournaments, but like going down and play for St. John's Park and obviously for Musgrave here, playing in those events I really love. And my son, he's 2, and we play bowls every morning in the living room. So I'll wait till he gets a bit older, and then looking forward to playing a few times with Harry, playing proper bowls.
Yeah, nice. Doesn't get much better, does it? I seen a Facebook post a couple of weeks ago. He said a lot of photos and bowls, and this is the best one. It was you and him out on the green, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, he comes and watches. He sits and watches. He knows everyone. I know. At the Golden Nugget, he was up, at Tweed Heads, and one of the ladies goes, "Does he know who everyone is?" And he goes, "Yeah, that's Dad. That's Gary. That's Tash Yellow," because he knows Tash uses yellow bowl, so he knows all the players and. Yeah, he just loves it. And like I said, we play every morning in the living room, so I get a lot of practice in.
Yeah, good on you, mate. Awesome. Righto, any title out there that you're still striving to get to, mate? Is there one thing you'd like to make before you retire, or one thing you'd like to grab hold of?
Yeah, hopefully if bowls are still in the Commonwealth Games, it'd be great to win that. Obviously, won the Asia Pacific, the Atlantic, and the World. So if I won the Commonwealth, kind of the 4 big outdoor ones. Yeah, and Canada's never won a gold medal in the Commonwealth Games for bowls, so that's probably one that I'm looking forward to, hoping to maybe get a gold medal.
Nice, mate. It's been a heck of a career. Like, I was a bit embarrassed when I was going through the results, to be honest. Actually, when we were talking about the GOAT of all time or the greatest of all time debate on the podcast, I mean, I didn't realize just how good it flipping well was. Like, phenomenal singles record, mate. There wouldn't be too many out there with a better one. Like, in all honesty, you're only a couple of shots away from having probably the greatest record of all time. Like, you've had a couple of single shot defeats there throughout the way, mate. So definitely something to be proud of, eh?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I really enjoyed listening to podcasts of all the countries that you went through. It was really interesting. And like you say, a lot of people probably don't know. People like Margaret Johnson of what actually she's achieved. And so it's good to go back and know the history and of what people have done. Like look at David Bryan, 4 Commonwealths and 3 Worlds, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, and the only reason he didn't get the 5th one was because it was in Kingston, Jamaica, and they didn't have it that year. One of the only times they haven't had it. Otherwise, it could have been 5 in a row. It's just scary record now.
Yeah. It's weird.
It was a lot of fun doing that, especially when there's guys at the club. Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, mate.
It's weird how, like, Scotland, they've never won the World Singles. And they've, like, Willie Wood lost a final. Alex lost a final. Richard Corsie lost a final. So it's just weird going back of how many great players and the history of the game is really good to know.
It is, and that's one thing that I enjoyed about that section of the podcast that we did, because it got my enthusiasm going a bit. Like, I can be a bit of a bowls nerd at times when I want to, but I suppose with a few things going on in life and stuff in the last few years, maybe the interest has waned a bit. But to dive back into that, and like there was guys at the club were telling me as soon as we started it, they're just like, oh well, it's Karen Murphy and it's Alex Marshall or whoever it was, but they actually find out and tell them actually you're wrong, but listen to the podcast, and then when you actually tell them who it is and show the records, they're like, oh yeah, well, it's hard to argue with that, isn't it? So that was a fun thing to do. And mate, I was pleasantly surprised with just, like, obviously to me you're always going to be the greatest out of Canada, but to see that record, mate, like that's one to be jealous of for a lot of people, I think. So congratulations to you, mate.
Cheers. Thank you.
Right. Mate, we'll probably just wrap up if you're happy enough with just some quick fire questions. Don't need to be quick fire as such, but just some questions you get sent to us that a lot of the bowlers around the place would like to hear from the guys at the elite level. So, make, model, size of bowl, mate, the usual.
Taylor bowls, size 4, and SRs.
SRs. Best greens you've ever played on?
Probably Broadbeach number 4 and Cabramatta number 3.
Favorite player to play with?
Play with? I will say Kevin Anderson.
Kevin Anderson. And mate, player that you always hated to face, whether you drew them at a championship or a club event or whatever it was, one player you always hated to go up against. It was always a battle every time you played them.
Ryan Burnett all the time. Always tried little things.
Yeah?
Yeah,
nice. Favorite club to be at?
Musgrave Hill.
Favorite country you've visited in all those events? I think we touched on that with Scotland, didn't we? But will that be your favorite one?
I love Scotland.
Yeah,
Scotland would be my favorite.
Best friend off the green?
Probably Kevin Anderson or Mike Carroll.
Yeah, Anderson. Nice. Any hobbies off the green?
Love listening to music and love traveling.
Yeah, one we asked the Aussies is your favorite footy team, but I'll just go because you're obviously a bit more rounded with the world sports. What's your favorite team that you would follow, and what sport is it? Yeah,
the 49ers, San Francisco 49ers in the NFL. They tear in my eye when we lost the Super Bowl last year.
Yeah, I'd say so. Man, any other sports you played when you were younger, and what level did you play it to?
I did 5-pin bowling and played at quite a high level and loved playing baseball, but I was scared of the ball. I could throw strikes.
There you go. Favorite food?
Pizza.
Favorite drink?
Chocolate milk.
Favorite holiday location?
Probably Canada now that I live here. That'd be my favorite holidays.
Yeah.
Or New Zealand.
That's one place I'd always love to go to. New Zealand looks like a good place to be. Okay, mate. If you could change one rule in the game, what would it be?
Obviously, the respot rule. Everyone knows my views on that. Yeah, that'd be one rule.
Yeah.
And to bring common sense into the game.
Yeah. Oh, man. Yeah, righto. Good luck with that. We've been in the game long enough to know that doesn't happen, mate. All right, mate. Final one. Advice for any bowlers out there aspiring to be the next Ryan Bester.
Just go out, enjoy the game, enjoy the process, and enjoy your friends.
Okay, well, I'll throw one more at you, mate. Rate the What a Load of Bowls podcast out of 10.
10.5.
Oh, mate, you're welcome back anytime.
Thanks. I love listening to your show.
All right, well, man, honestly,
on.
Well, that's really good to hear, mate, because we do like to hear that feedback. It's good to hear some guys at your level are sort of listening to it and enjoying it. I, in particular, like getting my phone calls each week from Bowls New South Wales when I rattle a few cages. So it's good to know people are actually paying attention to it, mate. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun for me and Simon to do. So it's great to have people like you, like I said, mate, giving up your time to come on here and have a chat to us, give us a bit of an insight into what your career's been like and how you got to where you got to, mate. And I know a lot of the Joe public around the place just love to hear that type of stuff, and they're crying out for more, like. So, mate, after doing that greatest of all time sort of skit that I did there for a while, it was you were one of the top of the list that we wanted to get to, mate. So, honestly, thank you again, mate. I can't thank you enough for coming on and giving up your time to do this.
No worries, anytime. Thank you, guys.
No worries, mate. Thank you, Ryan Bester. Well, Simon, there you have it. Me and Ryan Bester. It's your first time hearing it. What do you think?
Some interesting topics, DJ, and discussion points that come up from that. Like, I think what stood out for me was probably the fact that in Canada, they don't play pennants or any league matches.
That was a big one. And to hear Ryan say that and just how he was just wide-eyed when he got out here. He came here to play Premier League. What's this? He steps out in the green. We're playing 3 rigs all the same. And he's like, how good's this? Yeah. I think they won it that year too, he said as well. So that was... Yeah.
To go from just playing like singles, pairs, triples, fours, to then like a 12-person event, that's completely different. What would you do if we didn't play pennants, DJ? You'd have nothing to whinge about, would you?
Oh, I'd find something. Man, I don't know. I can't imagine a world without it. Hey,
yeah,
because it's like I know, like we grew up in Northern Ireland playing. I was always straight away. I was just league playing for the club,
league games. Yeah.
So you come out to pennants. Yeah, it's a little bit different to what we're used to, but it's a team game.
Team game. Yeah.
But Ryan's grown up there, never playing it. And he's gone. So he started. I think he said he started as a 13-year-old or whatever it was.
Yeah.
World champion at the age of 19.
Yeah.
Never played a pennant game.
Never played league games. Yeah. What else stood out for you, DJ, from that interview?
Sort of a bit of humbleness with Ryan as well. Like, I'm not saying that you're expecting these people to be, arrogant or confident, but he's definitely knows how good he is. But to hear openly and candidly talking about the monkey on the shoulder type of thing, and how before that World Singles final that he won, he had to go and take himself for a walk on the beach and just sort of settle into it again. And, there is those doubts for those elite players that do creep into your head that, is this ever going to happen for me?
Yeah.
So to hear him openly say that, like, it's not like we went, deep into it, but to hear him actually come out and say that, like, it was just brilliant. And talking about how he was able to get himself up again, obviously after going so close to Robert Whale in 06.
Yeah.
To lose by that first shot, to then go out and play against the English fella, name's escaping me now, sorry about that. But the English fella, and then actually who he lost to in the group stages, and then get up in that as well to actually get the bronze medal. So he's gone to a World Championships in 04 and a Commonwealth Games in 06, and he's medalled each time. Medalled at every World Championship he's been to. Just, mate. Yeah, I was like I said at the start, I was really looking forward to this, mate, and it didn't disappoint. Yeah, it was a good one to sit down with, and hopefully, like I said, you've enjoyed it, everyone else has enjoyed it, and Ryan's given a bit more insight into what these elite players are going to. And I think one thing we're finding from the 3 we've done so far, and the more that are to come, these elite players are not the robots that the general public seem to think they are. They're human.
Yeah. And the fact that what stood out for me was that he said those doubts did start to creep into his mind about not ever going to win that gold, and always coming up second best with a silver, and to try and combat that and get around that. Yeah, that's what the elite players do. Like, they still get those thoughts that the everyday bowler gets when they go down to play a club championship or whatever it is. Or, I'm going to get beat today, I'm not playing my best, or all those little doubts that creep in. Those elite players do get those doubts too, but it's how they cope and manage with that and circumvent those thoughts and reset again. So that's probably what stood out, DJ, in terms of some good insight into the mindset of an elite player that you don't normally hear about. So yeah, like that was a big point I thought that we got from it. And then also sometimes that when he mentioned about leaving Broadbeach, like, he was there for quite a long time. Yeah. Sometimes you just need a change. Yeah. And it's quite refreshing, DJ, that there was nothing really that he spoke about that sort of drove him. It was just sort of, sometimes you need a change in life, and that
just circumstances and a family thing at the time. Yeah. They had moved into a house near the location. They came calling. It was a decent enough opportunity, and he just, as you said, change can be like a holiday at times, I suppose. You don't want to rest on your laurels and just keep doing the same old thing. And he's obviously achieved everything he wanted to at Broadbeach. Went for a new challenge, something different, keep everything fresh, I suppose. To hear him talk about, doesn't seem to be any plans for retirement or anything there, as long as he thinks he's still contributing. We're going to see Ryan on the world stage. We just got to hope that we do see him on the world stage. Hopefully the Commonwealth Games keeps going. Hopefully the World Championships keeps going. And yeah, he's you don't want to see Ryan lost to that. Surprising to hear that he enjoyed playing New South Wales a little bit more than Queensland, just to set up, because all 7 grades can win the state flag. Yeah. So yeah, unfortunately that's a feather in Bulls New South Wales' cap there, but we'll find another way to take that out.
You giving them some credit, DJ? Wow.
No, I said Ryan did. I didn't say I did.
Okay.
I said Ryan did. Yeah. I got a few calls about the hot topic last week. We'll leave it there. Well, hopefully you all enjoyed that one, folks. That's just one of a series of sort of sit-down talks we're going to have with a few people around the place. We're starting to bank them up a bit. We got a busy month coming up in our personal lives, so we're trying to bank a few of these up in the next week or so. Some administrators, like we've talked about, Wayne Turley, Christy Green are coming. So hopefully everyone tune in over the next couple of weeks. You'll see a few more of those pop up, and like, share, comment. Let us know what you're thinking. Are you enjoying these? What type of questions have we not asked that you want to hear? And we'll put it to them, mate. We're not scared.
That's it, DJ. Yeah. Throw out the questions there and we'll ask them.
One topic I did see today, Simon, I was talking about players in retirement. Aaron Sheriff.
Yes,
DJ. Retirement from international duty.
Big news there, yeah.
Pretty big. Like, it just shows you, but he's only, like, I'm only 37, you're 38, Aaron's the same age as you.
Yeah.
Do you feel like retiring at 38, mate?
The body probably feels like retiring, DJ, but the drive and hunger is still there. Like, Still want to
Just
achieve a few
mobility?
things. Just mobility, yeah.
That was an interesting one. Obviously, he's been, 15, 16, 17 years or something at the top of the game playing with the Jackaroos. He's had a couple of stints where he has taken a year off for different reasons as well. And yeah, it was an interesting one, but what a career, hey?
Oh, DJ, that CV would be phenomenal. I think you need a few pages for that CV.
Do you think it had anything to do with we announced him as the runner-up on the GOAT? The podium. He was on the podium on the GOAT, and he's just turned around and go, well, that's it. I've made it. Simon and DJ have given me the credit that I needed. I'm done.
You've just done Australia out of a world-class bowler, DJ.
Oh, I've got a couple. I've got a couple up their sleeves.
One less.
It's a pretty good one.
It's a pretty good one.
A pretty good one. He is. He's top of the tree. He really is. And when it comes to bowls from here, like you've had all those legends of the game. For fair reason, we put Aaron top of that tree. So all the best to Aaron in retirement. I know he's having fun following his daughter around playing cricket and stuff at the minute. See a few Facebook updates and lost to the game. Like we want to see him playing at those levels. Hopefully, he still plays all the BPLs and stuff like that there. But
absolutely. Like who knows, DJ? Maybe just not playing at international level anymore. We might even see an Omar that's even better, DJ, if he doesn't have the pressures of playing international bowls.
Jeez, that's scary.
Hey?
That's scary. Well, anyway, yeah. Well,
you wouldn't want to be in the club championship against Omar.
I'm not good enough to play at those clubs he plays at. They can't afford him and me.
Please.
But yeah, no, like I said, from the Bulls Academy and what a load of Bulls, man, all the best to Aaron Sheriff in retirement. He's had an absolute fantastic career, one that everyone can be jealous of. And good luck to Aaron in retirement, I suppose. Well, on that note, mate, I think we'll wrap it up for this week. I think we had a pretty good interview there. What do you reckon?
Yeah, that was a good one, DJ, that you sat down and had a good chat with Ryan. Gave us some good insights into top international bowler and what he goes through, like at those big events and his mindset and how he goes about it on and off the green, DJ. So, yeah, that was a good interview, DJ. So, hopefully a good few more coming up.
Good few more coming up, man. Hopefully we can bring the people what they want. Hear from all these top-level players that Joe Public doesn't get to speak to all the time. Just some superstar podcasters like us can get them to sit down and have a chat with me. So thanks again, folks, for all the support. Thanks for listening. If you need a comment on Facebook. Listen to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Subscribe to it all so you don't miss a download every week. It comes out every Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. And see you all next week. And just remember to keep that little disc on the inside.
And good luck on those green folks. Catch you next week.